Hello, my friends. Today, a very interesting situation is unfolding on the border between Russia and Ukraine. Occupiers in the Sumy region have intensified shelling of all border settlements. Whether this signifies artillery preparation for a breakthrough here is hard to say for now. There are also ongoing shelling in the former regime along the border villages of Chernihiv and Kharkiv regions. Meanwhile, explosions have been reported on Russian territory in Belgorod, but details are currently unavailable. Now, let's turn to the situation along the front line, starting with the Kupiansk direction. Here, the occupiers continue their offensive actions towards Kreminna and Ivanivske. It's the second day without a break, and there have been 10 attacks in the past day alone, so this is quite a significant activity for this direction. However, the Ukrainian forces have held their defense, and the occupiers have failed to advance. Therefore, the front line remains unchanged. In the Svatove direction, the occupiers show no activity. There have been no shelling or new attacks reported. In the direction of Kreminna, the occupiers continue to storm the positions of the Ukrainian forces near the village of Terne and have resumed attacks on Yampolivka. In the past day, the occupiers have conducted 8 attacks. Shelling persists, but the crucial point is that the occupiers haven't achieved any success. The front line remains unchanged for the day. In the Siversk direction, after regrouping, the occupiers have resumed attacks on Bohdanivka and intensified shelling of the village. Several attacks have been conducted in the past day, but significant success hasn't been achieved. So we are waiting further developments. In the Bakhmut direction, the number of attacks has significantly increased. Over the past day, the occupiers conducted 18 assaults. The main battles are concentrated in Bohdanivka, in the areas of Ivanivske and Klishchiivka. While they haven't achieved significant success, they are pushing further each time as their shelling destroys all the Ukrainian forces' strongholds, making it very difficult to maintain defense. Additionally, strikes continue on Chasiv Yar, which the occupiers plan to reach in the near future. However, the Ukrainian forces are doing everything possible to hold the defense. In the Avdiivka direction, the battles continue with 27 attacks over the day. The occupiers are attempting to extend the northern flank as far as possible, while the Ukrainian forces are fiercely defending Avdiivka. Today, intense battles are ongoing in the Bakhmutivka area, with ongoing attacks on Pervomaiske and Nevitske. So what about the fighting in Avdiivka itself? Here, the occupiers continue to try to expand the controlled territory both in the northern and southern parts. So it can be said with confidence that they have already pushed much further than the official front line. The battles are now within 300 meters of the eastern front line. Several streets have now entered the gray zone. Battles also continue from the southern side, but the Ukrainian forces are preventing the occupiers from breaking through further and are conducting counterattacks to stabilize the situation. However, due to the significant numerical superiority of the occupiers, this task is very difficult. Much more drones and artillery are needed, but as you already know, there is a shortage of them. According to the New York Times, citing American officials, Ukraine will have enough ammunition until March. So it turns out until the end of this month.
American officials assess that, without replenishment, Ukraine has enough air defenses to last until only next month. And Russia's President, Vladimir V. Putin, delivered a blunt message Thursday night in an interview with Tucker Carlson, saying that Ukraine would not regain territory and that it was time to make a deal. Western military analysts have suggested that 2024 will be a rebuilding year for Ukraine, and General Syrsky will need to figure out how best to employ soldiers to hold back Russian offensives while generating new and effective fighting forces. Before Ukraine's leaders think of regaining ground, though, they must first hold what they have, and preventing Russian advances is complicated by critical shortages of soldiers and ammunition.
However, despite all the difficulties, the occupiers failed to achieve any significant breakthroughs during the day, and the situation remains unchanged. The head of the military administration made an official statement regarding the occupiers' advances in Avdiivka.
The armed forces of the Russian Federation resume massive assaults on Avdiivka. Black Small Square. Yesterday, the enemy became more active in all directions of the Avdiivka section. They began to storm about 20 destinations. A very difficult situation, said the head of the MBA Barabash.
In the direction of Marinka, the fighting around Bohdanivka has ceased. However, intensified assaults on Novomykhailivka from two directions, accompanied by shelling, have begun. There were 12 attacks in the area over the day. Regarding the occupiers' advancement near Bohdanivka, it hasn't been officially confirmed yet. However, looking at the geolocation map, we can see that they did attempt to break through, and Ukrainian forces destroyed several BMPs and tanks there. So the destruction was carried out by drones, dropping grenades, indicating that the occupiers likely failed to consolidate their positions, leaving the front line unchanged. In the direction of Vuhledar, after a week-long lull, fighting has resumed. So the occupiers have actively started storming Ukrainian positions around Zolota and shelling the village. They are also attempting to advance through the fields from Priyutne with several groups. So whether they will succeed in advancing and consolidating their positions remains to be seen. So far, there have been 2 attacks in this direction over the day, so we are waiting to see how events will unfold further. In the Zaporizhzhia direction, the occupiers conducted 2 attacks in the Robotyne area and attempted to break through from Novoprokopivka through the fields. Their aim appears to be to extend the front line to encircle our forces. However, despite their intentions, the Ukrainian forces repelled the attack and the front line remains unchanged. In the Kherson direction, the occupiers continue to intensively shell the right bank and persist in their attempts to push the Ukrainian forces out of the village of Kreminna. Russian military correspondents report on these developments.
Today there were 5 attacks on the enemy's bridgehead in the village of Kreminna. The 328th Airborne Assault Regiment of the 104th Airborne Assault Division was finally given a break. Units from the 26th Motorized Rifle Regiment, the 70th Motorized Rifle Brigade and the 144th Motorized Rifle Brigade participated in the attacks. Almost all military units do not want to go to the assaults, as they know that this is a one-way ticket. And now everyone already understands that Kreminna is a trap for our people, and those 50 to 100 Koklovs who settled there are bait for Teplinsky.
Meanwhile, Russian propagandists continue to threaten the United States and the United Kingdom as if their words hold any significance.
Есть уверенность в том,
У меня
что
есть.
ты определяешь победой, да? Победа – это устранение угрозы.
Правильно.
Вот устранит ли угроза?
Вот нет Британии, и угрозы нет.
Безусловно, ответку мы не получим.
От кого? Британии-то
Штатов.
больше нет. А им зачем? Понимаешь, что мы их тогда тут же уничтожим.
А гарантия есть, что,
Конечно, есть.
что они не ответят?
100%.
Нет. Дело в том,
Вот
что
100%.
если Соединенные Штаты
Да.
не вмешиваются в конфликт, это означает, что они теряют все. Они сейчас,
Нет,
могут,
они, по крайней мере,
они
сохраняют
сейчас
жизнь.
могут спокойно отойти на
Нет,
свой
они
остров,
считают-
установить, так
они
сказать,
считают, что мы не
гегемонию в
ударим.
западном полушарии, особенно учитывая позицию, там, например, всяких Хавьеров, Милеев и так далее.
Они считают, что мы не ударим. А если это они понимают хорошо, что сейчас у нас превосходство в стратегических ядерных вооружениях, и что они не могут нанести нам удар, на который мы не ответим однозначным уничтожением, притом по нам тоже попадет, это надо понимать. Но и по ним точно прилетит, притом прилетит быстро и жестко. И они скажут, что зачем Англия? Нам вообще король всегда не
До тех
нравился.
пор они-
И вообще мы от них еле освободились. Мы всегда не любили этих людей без подбородка.
And that's all for me. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell to stay updated on all the latest news. Thank you for watching and see you next time. Bye bye.